Hey, scary old Pappy here again. I'm going to show you the finishing touches to this thing, which is to add corbels to the columns at the top and at the bottom. And I'm going to show you how to make those things. Okay, as you can see, we've got like 4 columns on each side that go down. And what we're going to make are these things right here, and you can glue and screw these up. These are corbels, and they're going to go up here like this. Okay, and they're also going to go down at the bottom like this. This will add decoration and fanciness to it. Now, corbels cost a lot of money, so I'm going to show you, and on this one you need 16 corbels. And these are special cut ones here because remember, this thing comes apart. So there are the screws, and we've got to make a small corbel for this one here, one on each side. So let's get at it. I've set the chop saw up to where it's got a cut that is the width of that, which is 3.5 inches on those woods. And remember, you need to, when you lay these things out, you lay it out to the lumber that you have if you've salvaged it, okay? Now I'm going to take and cut this on here into a square, and then we're going to router it. Thanks, Mr. Pickles. What you see here is the block that I cut for the corbels out of, again, just a piece of pine that was pine or Doug fir, whatever they use to make those. Pallets and packing crates out of at that time. And we're going to run it around on this is a router table. It is older than dirt, but then so am I. So we're going to router these, and you'll see how they look. I'm going to get real close so you can see that's like a half round for doing a round corner. And as you can see, as you run that across the table, it cuts it into a shape like this. And that makes a real fascinating look to it. It makes a nice finish, and you didn't put a ton of money into it, because corbels run about $5 to $7 a piece depending on what you buy, and they're not always the size you want. There you go. Well, here we are with the finished corbels attached to the hearse. I'm going to move it up on one so you can have a look. And again, these are just homemade corbels. They make it look really sweet. We're almost ready to where we can start finishing it up, putting the paint on it. Scary old Pappy here. Just wanted to get back to you. I finally got around to doing the rear doors on the hearse. Unfortunately, I didn't videotape how I did them, but they're very simple. Pretty much duplicating the sides of the hearse and just in a smaller scale. Let's show you. There they are on there. We'll move up forward. I used hinges I got at the 98-cent store. Don't have to buy good stuff, it's just a prop. These handles that are red, I had them. They're a plastic handle. I had them in my junk that I hung on to. I also took and put latches on here, magnetic latches to keep it shut. As you can see how well that shuts. Notice they didn't come out even. Don't matter. It's an aging, decaying old hearse. Now, as you can see, it's just a square of wood. That's all it is. And then it's got filler in here. That's what holds them together, the screws that you see and the glue. Very simple to do. I put a stop up here. Also, that stop not only stops the doors, but it gives a place for the little magnetic cabinet latches that I used. So there you go. we're ready to go. I'm also going to add some corbels. I made extra ones when I did the corbels, and they're going to go up on the corners like that, and I'm going to make a center corbel. So there you go. I'll show you when I get the corbels up. Scary old Pappy here again, and we're going to take and put the finishing touches on the sides of the hearse, the detailing, and prep it for painting, and we're ready to go to paint and then get it finished up. As you can see, I have the hearse tore back down into its little parts, and I'm going to take and put on rope down here, down the two pieces of rope down here that is going to become the trim and make it a little fancier. The rope I'm using is just a nylon. I found this at a nuts and bolts place, and it is fantastic. Got a big old spool of it here, and you'll see as I go on, I'll show you what I'm doing. What do you think so far? I'm using my favorite tool, the little PT50 Arrow stapler. You can also use an Arrow 250 hand stapler, which is fine too. And to cut the nylon rope, I'm just using a little cook stove and one of the wife's butter knives. Don't tell her though. We'll clean it up and put it back in there before she gets it. We'll get her done and you'll see what this is going to look like. It's going to look pretty sharp. Once it's painted and it all comes together, it's going to look like a mighty fancy trim. I'm going to show you a few things on how to do some aging on wood, and we're going to do the deck and also the roof of this hearse with a torch, and this will give you a aged look to the wood, and it saves you a little paint, but also gives you more contrast to where it looks more real. Okay, what we're going to use here is just your typical Bunzematic propane torch, and we're going to go up to the lattice work that I used for the deck on the hearse, and we're going to torch it, and I'll show you how that ends up here in a moment. And I'll give you a whole different texture as to how this is going to look in the finished product. I stopped the burning with the torch at this moment so you can see the contrast between the wood that I haven't done yet and the wood that I have had. You can do this to any wood. It's very quick, it's really efficient, and it doesn't cost hardly anything to do, and it makes it look really good. There's a big wide shot for you. Okay, I'll talk to you later. As you can see, I've got the sides off and painted along with the doors. I still have the frame to do and the roof, but I'm not going to spend too much time about painting. We all know how to paint. I chose to do this with a paintbrush rather than with, I was thinking about maybe spraying it, but I think the spraying would not leave any brush marks, and we're trying to kind of use those brush marks as part of the Old West because it didn't have spray units in those days and spray cans. So I'm not going to talk much about that.